Hey, friends, welcome in. Thanks for tuning in to episode 107 of the Heat Press for Profit podcast, powered by Stalls. I am your host, Dave, here today with over 15 years in the apparel decorating industry, working through 3 different commercial screen printing shops. I'm happy to bring my experience here to you for your apparel decorating business. Today, we are chatting all about how you could get more orders. Yes, more sales for your apparel decorating or t-shirt printing business, or even if you're just distributing and just selling apparel to and having other people print it for you and just making money. We're going to be talking everything from inbound marketing strategies to outbound sales. And you don't necessarily have to be an expert or a pro to utilize some of the tips that we're using here today. So we're going to try to break it down in easy to understand terms, regardless of where you are in your business journey, whether you're just starting up or maybe you're running an established shop just looking for new ideas. And I do have to give a shout out to Kevin Baumgart from his presentation at the Apparel Decorator Summit just a couple weeks ago. That was held by the Apparelist down in Nashville, Tennessee. Absolutely incredible presentation, and a lot of it focused so much on sales for specifically apparel decorators. So that's definitely going to be one thing that I have to give props to Kevin for this one as well. But today, essentially, the goal is for you to take away some actionable insights, maybe some strategies that you could use that are going to help you sell more apparel, connect with more customers, generate more leads, get more orders, drive more revenue, of course, adding profit to your pocket. We wouldn't be on the Heat Press for Profit podcast without talking about profit opportunities for your business. So super important right there, right? And, you could take this and put this into practice this week, maybe take one action item and take it this week, and then go and take another one. This is recorded, so you don't have to take notes or anything if you're listening along in the shop or you're driving, or you could just come back and listen to the podcast, this Heat Press for Profit podcast, live, of course, right now, every single Thursday at 3 p.m., barring a few off weeks like we've had in the past. Thank you, Google Cloud outage, for not letting us live stream for a while there. That was great. But everything's up, back and running. All of the questions come right here into the studio in real time, so be sure to drop them in there. But one kickoff question, for you right now, what's the bottleneck in your sales strategy, right? Are you having problems connecting with new customers? What is a challenge that you're facing as an apparel decorator looking to get more sales? And so drop your comments wherever you're tuning in from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram if you're listening to us live, because I'd love to hear from you. Having your input as an apparel decorator helps so much with sharing your experiences and helping everybody out. Together as a community, we are all stronger together. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about the apparel decorating community, is that we have a community, right? Even though we're all in technically competition with each other with the national or even global economy that we currently live in, apparel decorators are so willing to help each other out, to lift the entire industry up as a whole. I played as a band and a musician in bands for a very, very long time. And something that wasn't technically a competitive sport really felt like it sometimes, where, we're not going to help support them. They got that show, and it was jealousy or whatever it might be, animosity in some way. But nobody would help each other out. And in the communities that I was a part of in the music world, the communities that truly supported each other and helped each other out were always the strongest and the most fun to be a part of. Not only did we grow as musicians, right, but other people took notice and brought more people to the shows. It was just a healthy community. And that is what the apparel decorating community is, even though your customer could be my customer, could be somebody else's customer. But we'll cover some strategies here today to ensure that regardless of, you're the customers that you serve, they're not even going to think about going anywhere else. And I see a comment right here. We'll pull on in. Hello from Beloit, Ohio. So glad you guys are back, because I was starting to go through withdrawal from seeing y'all. And we are happy to see you too. Yeah, we did have a little bit of an outage and then some vacation. So I hope you could see my tan. That's not non-existent from taking a week off on vacation, but we're so happy to be back here in the Heat Press for Profit podcast, especially because this was an episode that I was super jazzed about before we took our little break here. And we were supposed to go live with it, but did not. But this one specifically about, getting more sales into your shop. So if you have your own strategies too, and you're listening along, something that's worked for you, drop it in the comment section below. No gatekeeping here, right? We are a community built to help each other out, help each other not just survive in this maybe unpredictable economic landscape, but 100% thrive. I want to see you have the best year ever here in 2025. And I've had the luxury of talking to a lot of apparel decorators who have had phenomenal years, even with the tariff uncertainties or the market uncertainties. And we could cover some of those strategies, right? Because one of those topics, if you missed a episode a couple weeks ago, was the Apparel Decorator Summit recap, right? And one of the big themes was the erosion of the bulk orders. So a lot of customers who served everybody from schools to restaurants to corporate customers, even the trades, construction companies and stuff like that. There's been so much hesitancy to buying those huge bulk orders that we typically see, right? And so, well, with all of that, eroding, there's ways that you could set up online stores and meet that hesitation with a solution. And that's one thing that I'm going to talk about a lot here today is we're not just selling products. We're not just selling t-shirts, right? We are providing solutions. And that's one way to super cement yourself as that go-to resource, right? And I'll jump back into my band example back in the day as well. So, of course, love the webinars that we have going on and that I think Liz was just wrapping up over at Transfer Express. All of the online education that we do from all of our YouTube videos. If you're not already subscribed, head over to YouTube, subscribe to Stalls TV, and of course our Transfer Express YouTube channels that are tons of helpful advice for apparel decorators just like you, available 24/7 on demand, maybe to save those withdrawals from seeing us. You can still tune in, and we're still releasing videos there every single week as well, whether it pertains to heat printing or sometimes just small business goals. The one that we released this week was on standard operating procedures and best practices for growing shops, right? And looking at the shops that have struggled with some challenges as they've tried to grow and scale, and things that other shops have successfully put in place that aided them growing and scaling. So always check those out. But virtual education's cool. What's even better is in-person opportunities to get hands-on with products. I love talking to people face-to-face, right? If you don't already tell, I'm very much a people person. So we have some live events coming up. Just wrapped up Graphics Pro Expo in Indianapolis last week with the team. And then, of course, we have our Pro Day on tour hitting Lane 7 in Irvindale, California, just outside of LA. That's going to be July 17th. So maybe I think Carly's with us. She would be able to put a link into the chat where you could check out that Pro Day and sign up for it if you're out in California. A great opportunity. Love the Pro Days. We've been doing them for, I want to say, going on 3 or 4 years now. And every year we have this new evolution as the trends change, as technology changes, right? And it's built, it's a 4-hour workshop essentially built to supercharge your business with heat applied products and beyond. We even talk about niches to target and looking at real world examples and bringing stories of decorators just like you into the fold. A great opportunity to learn from not only the experts here at Stalls, learn from the stories we'll tell from your peers, but also meet and mingle and talk to maybe your next mentor or another shop that experienced the same challenges that you did, to find somebody to help you guide through it. Like I mentioned, the apparel decorating community is so awesome. And then, of course, after that, back to the big trade shows coming up in the fall. Have a little break here through the summer in the hot months, and we'll be back in Dallas for the Impressions Expo. That's going to be October 1st through the 4th, and a Pro Day will be there in Dallas as well on October 1st to kick off the entire expo. So come on in. a day early, right? And then also Printing United. That's going to be in Florida this year, Orlando, October 22nd through the 24th. One of my favorite shows of the year. The Printing United Alliance is an absolutely phenomenal organization, from the Apparel Decorating Summit, the event they just put on in Nashville, to the State of the Industry report that we kind of dove into a couple weeks ago, that they put out as well, all of the research that they do. And they even go and lobby to Congress here in the United States on behalf of apparel decorators of the entire printing industry. So the work that the Printing United Alliance does is so important. I am not affiliated in any other way other than being a member of the Printing United Alliance here through Stalls. But the resources that they provide, even from, tech resources and educational resources that could help you train employees better, are phenomenal. So if you haven't checked them out, but of course, the Printing United Expo is cheaper for members, and I think you could even use your ticket from the Expo for discounted membership as well. So something to look into if you are a growing apparel shop. Great to be a part of that with all of the news and resources that they put out there all the time. And Cassie over at the Apparelist, 2 thumbs up to the entire team over there for the phenomenal work that they do as well. So, but we're talking sales today, right? So I want to start with inbound sales, right? Before we start talking about going out and getting more sales, if you have a website, which most apparel decorators do, you have inbound sales. So people finding you in your region. One thing I will say, just to be put us all on the same level ground, if you do have a website, check it for your SEO, right? So, and what I mean by that, SEO is search engine optimization. I've been a marketer for a while in the print industry, but that's something that's very, very important. And at the last shop that I worked at, we were here in Cleveland, Ohio. And one thing specifically we wanted to rank for is one of our taglines was Cleveland's favorite printer, right? Because we wanted everybody in the area, in the region, to pick us first, as we were the experts in printing in the Cleveland area, right? So Cleveland custom apparel, Cleveland screen printing were these terms that we put onto our website. So think of the phrases of how somebody's going to find you, number one, right? And ensure that you have them listed in your Instagram bio, on your website, right? You want them to be able to find you when they go to Google and type in, hey, I need a screen printer I need custom t-shirts in Cleveland, Ohio, right? And number one, you're going to see the shops that you are in direct competition with then. So you could start to look at the pain points of how you're going to stand out. What's their average turn time? Can you beat that, right? I am hesitant to mention pricing, of course, because there are shops that are super expensive and there are shops that are bottom of the barrel, cheap, right? And a race to the bottom on pricing rarely, if ever, builds businesses, right? Usually it's sustainable for a little while and then you're losing money and it's not worth your time. And that's not a way to grow your business successfully. So be very, very careful of the race to bottom on pricing. But think of all of those phrases of how somebody's going to find you. Maybe you do banners too. Maybe you do whatever it might be, hats, right? Custom hats, Cleveland. Whatever anybody's going to search to find you, make sure that phrase or verbiage is somewhere on your website. And that's just a great place to start, right? Sure, it's nice to be cute with your headlines, but that's usually what's going to be the preview text on Google, right? So, darn tootin'est best tees in the world isn't going to be, it's going to be cute, right? But it's not going to be doing you any service when it comes to search engine relevancy or your ideal customers finding you. Now, if you already have a niche, right? You have a target audience, band printing, right? I'll just use my own example of how I got into the industry. The best merch for bands and businesses, right? Boom, right there on the top of your website. Speak to your niche, right? Because that's what band t-shirts, custom band t-shirts. What are people going to be searching, right? And then you want to be able to speak to them in the language that they're used to seeing, showing examples, right? If you're printing for heavy metal bands and you're, printing for churches, which the last print shop I worked for, sure enough, we printed for them all, right? But the messaging of how we directed it to each audience was vastly different, right? We're not showing a heavy metal tee to the church audience that's looking to do the Vacation Bible School t-shirts, right? You need to show relevant examples for what your audience is into. Now, maybe if you're running your own Etsy shop or something like that, that's easy. And it's a lot easier because then you go through your niche. Maybe your niche is, moms, and that's who you're targeting. Great niche for Etsy, right? Great niche for online sales for any clothing brand, right? But then you start to show the relevant, timely stuff. So like right now, you're showing summer, vacation stuff, maybe some family reunions if you're looking to do those custom tees, 4th of July, right? So you should be advertising seasonally, showing those seasonal styles. So that's just one way. Before we even talk about inbound sales, that's one kind of boilerplate marketing thing that's going to set us up for the first thing that I really want to talk about, and that is inbound sales, right? So when we talk about the inbound sales, you're going to have two types of buyers, right? One that's very informed, that's going to know exactly what they want, know exactly how to order it, and have print-ready artwork. You're going to have another kind who needs some help, right? So, and I see this all the time from shops that I've worked at in the past, and shops that I've visited even, or just browsed their websites, because I've browsed websites of tons of different businesses, even outside of the printing industry, to kind of audit, see what's working well, and get that inspiration for what's maybe not working, right? So you have two types of buyers coming in. If you give them a blank form, you are going to need so much more information, and you're going to have people drop off. If you have a huge list of everything, say like the information you actually need to quote somebody t-shirts. All right, how many do you need? What colorways? Do you know the exact garment of what you want? Do you know the sizing breakdown? If somebody's not sure of what they want, they're bouncing on that, right? That's way too many questions. I'm like, I don't know the answers to any of this. Maybe this isn't the shop for me. And they go find somebody else, right? So the thing that I've found works the best, and this was from Kevin as well, is having two forms, right? When you have somebody landing on your website, they want to reach out for a quote, and this is perfectly fine because there's still a lot of shops that don't have like click to order things. Right now, it's great if you do have a click to order thing. Those software solutions could be quite expensive, right? And having an order form is still tried and true because a lot of it is a conversation. You're not just doing a transactional sale like somebody buying a t-shirt on a web store, right? And if you're doing something like that, look at getting Fulfill Engine or Shopify or one of these great pieces of software out there that give you the control to be able to capture those sales. Even better if you have automation, like with a software with Fulfill Engine, where you could have that either production automation inside your own shop or automatically outsource jobs so that you don't have to go chase down vendors, submit POs, and you worry about minimum quantities or anything like that. Like Fulfill Engine handles all that for you. So it's great. So that's if you're just like running your own brand or business. Talking more of like a custom decorator here, you want to be able to provide a solution. So someone's going to be like, well, I need t-shirts for my family reunion event. There's 50 of us. I don't really know everybody's sizes. Or maybe I do know people's sizes, but I don't have art. I need you to do that for me, right? So there are going to be two different forms from somebody to be like, I have a business. These are the sizes that I need. I know I want it on the next level 3600 in the midnight navy colorway. Give me a quote, right? So having two forms, one that's very open-ended. Hey, tell us about your project. And then you connect with them and provide those solutions. Hey, so, I saw that you said you needed 50 tees for your family reunion. That's awesome. Do you guys have a budget? Oh, well, not that much. Let me recommend a low cost, but, cheap option. Oh, it's going to be in South Carolina in July. It's probably going to be hot. What about tank tops? Have you guys thought about anything like that? Okay, maybe I'll get you a lightweight shirt instead of like a big heavy cotton budget tee, right? Where maybe you could recommend the Port & Company PC43, right? Where it's a 4.3 ounce. It's going to be super economical and budget friendly. And you're going to start to meet the needs of your customer with a solution, right? And when you start to do that, nothing is transactional anymore. You are providing a solution to that customer. But having a breakout of two forms. So one is all of the options that you would need to quote the job. One is, hey, you could send us one sentence and we could reach back out to you either via email or via phone call, or even some AI assistants. Now you could pepper them with questions and just have them answer, and then it sends you a text download of everything, right? I don't know if going that route is the best for a lot of smaller businesses. Usually picking up the phone and connecting with your customers in such an increasingly digital and sterile world forges a relationship immediately, and it shows that you care. It shows that it gives you the opportunity to show that you're an expert, and you're going to be able to help them out with whatever they need. Hey, what's your turn time? What date do you need these by? What date is the family reunion? Oh, totally. 3 weeks from now, totally be able to get that for you. Oh, Sunday. Yeah, we're going to be able to help you out, but it might incur a rush fee, right? Because a lot of times you'll be able to save the day with that. So when we talk about inbound sales, one form, sure, might work, but it doesn't work the best for people who know what they want and the customers who are going to need some help finding what they do. I will say, from my own experience, I haven't printed t-shirts full time in quite a while, right? But I still have tons of people reach out to me because I'm just Dave the t-shirt guy, right? I've been known as the t-shirt guy for the past 15 years to friends, family, when I was in a band, a lot of other bands. I had a band from South Carolina hit me up 2 weeks ago to be like, hey man, are you still doing t-shirts? Because I did a t-shirt order for him that was like 12 pieces 15 years ago, right? Like, people, if you provide that solution, they're always going to remember you and they're always going to come back to you. And that's a great way to be able to build a business, right? So if anybody wants to print t-shirts for a band in South Carolina, I got a lead for you. Because I'm probably not going to be able to do it anymore, right? But so, yes, you want to keep it easy, short, easy to understand for any time anybody's interacting with you online. Now, when I say that too, I've talked to plenty of decorators finding success, especially just starting out, in the DMs. That's the direct messages, either on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, right? TikTok, wherever you are. You could follow businesses in your area, which then again, if you're showcasing what you could do for specific niches, maybe you focus on tattoo shops, right? And there's a couple tattoo shops in your area and you follow them and interact with their posts. It's a great way for them to take notice of you. Oh, hey, who's this Dave Prince t-shirts guy, right? Like, oh, he prints t-shirts for a lot of tattoo shops. Wow, that one's really rad. I wonder if he could do stuff for us, right? And then you slide into the DMs after you've been friends, right? Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm Dave. I'm in your area, right? And you start to do a little bit of cold outreach, even on social media. Now, I will say you have to approach it the right way. And with each customer or each niche, each segment is a little bit different. Usually following them, friending them, interacting with them is a great way to start instead of just directly reaching out. Can't tell you how many people reach out to me via DM and go, hey, do you need digitizing or vectorizing services? And I ignore them every single time, right? So just going in, emailing or, direct messaging every single, business in your local area, probably not going to be the most effective, right? When you're just cold outreach, hey, are you interested in custom t-shirts for your business? No, you have to attach something else to it. And if you have an example of, say, another tattoo shop that you've done, or they're a local diner or something, you can say, hey, I worked with so-and-so, who's another local diner. They saw a 200% increase in custom merch that they were selling. It's a great revenue opportunity. I'd love 2 minutes to be able to talk, to you about how we can maybe get you more revenue. You are providing a solution. You're not just saying, hey, we could print custom t-shirts for you, right? And that's going to be at least a step to start to open a conversation and take it even further. And coupled with some other strategies, like the power of samples, especially when we talk about that small regional business, is where you're really going to see some huge gains. Like, this is the thing though, right? Like, of course, just cold outreach, DMing people on Instagram. If you DM 100 local businesses a day on Instagram or reach out to them via email every single day, you are going to have more work than you know what to do with. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, think, oh yeah, cool, that's great, there's no way that works, and they never do it. Every single person who does that calculated and consistent cold outreach wins every single time. There's a reason why people still do it today, right? Because it works. You could reach out to all of these businesses in your local area, and you're definitely going to get some responses. Now, you might get 1 out of every 10, right? Maybe even less than that. Maybe you're at 3 out of every 100 are going to reach back out to you, right? But as you're starting a business, you gotta suck up the shame, right? And pound the pavement, knock on doors, even the digital doors, right? We're not talking about physical doors. You have to be knocking on, right? So definitely being able to look out for that. So When we talk about the power of samples, now you've connected with them online. You've made multiple touch points now, right? You've connected with them online. You followed them. Maybe you've commented on a few posts. Maybe you've sent an Instagram DM. Maybe you're able to find, I was just watching another podcast, Shirt Show, and Dylan up at Upstate North or Upstate Merch. He was talking about using hunter.io, which is a software that you could use that essentially you type in a URL or domain. So you could go look in your local area for all of the small local businesses, go to hunter.io and essentially type in their information or their website, and it's going to give you every single email address that they're able to find for that business. So it's going to start allowing you to start reach out, right? You could do the same thing on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way. You have to forge a connection first before you could slide into somebody's DMs there. But a great way to talk to specific individuals. You're not just addressing the business as a whole. People don't buy from businesses. People buy from individuals. And you, as a sole proprietor or a business owner, carry so much weight with your knowledge, with your expertise, with just being able to listen, right? Provide solutions. If you just go to customink.com, you're not going to have those suggestions. You're not going to have those interactions that are putting the puzzle pieces together, right? And they're going to be on their own to be like, what's the difference between a Gildan 5000 and a Portland Company PC54? Is it just price? Why is the next level 3600 way more expensive than that? And why does the Bella Canvas 3001, what, I don't need all these colorways, or what's the difference between a side seam and a non-side seam garment, right? These are all questions that I've personally answered to people I've printed apparel for over the past 15 years, right? And being able to just provide some examples of that or samples, right? Hey, we worked with the local business. You're going for a diner. Hey, we worked with so-and-so. They were able to get a 200% increase in revenue from just their merchandise they sold at the front of the store. I was wondering if you have 2 minutes tomorrow morning. I have a gift to drop off for you. As soon as you say gift, not sample, I got a gift to drop off for you. Who turns that down? You have 2 minutes and you drop them off, maybe their own logo. With Ultra Color Max and direct-to-film transfers now these days, like, it's so easy to just order one. Or you're ordering a gang sheet, throw somebody else's logo on it, right? Even just to write it off as a marketing expense, right? As, hey, I'm going to show up with their logo that I took offline, put it on a t-shirt. Hey, here's a free gift for you. Just want to give you a t-shirt. I'm in the area. I do custom printed merchandise. We helped so-and-so increase their revenue. Are you guys interested in a similar opportunity? What's the worst they say? No. Yeah, that's the worst. And then they have a free custom t-shirt with maybe like on the inside label, like you've printed your brand's information in there. Maybe you include a hang tag with some sample pricing or something like that. Maybe some other options like we do hoodies and hats and tees and tank tops too, right? Like, but when you start activating your list by saying, hey, I'm going to be in the area. Do you have 2 minutes for me to drop off a little gift? Huge, right? And then you're showing up, right? So you do maybe the introverted living the life online. This is going to be a little bit more of a struggle or a little bit more of a challenge, let's say. But I guarantee you reach out to 5 people, at least one of them is going to say yes. You're going to just show up and you're going to be able to get a sale from it, regardless of how big or small. When we talk about like schools, right? Athletic directors showing up to the PTA events, contributing, just volunteering your time to the athletic booster club. Or if you already have kids in the school system, right? Like odds are you already have a foot in the door somewhere. You go to the local library, you're part of a local book club, right? Like you have this opportunity to start connecting with people who already share interests with you, who already know who you are, where you're not just going to be shooting in the dark, right? So, but whatever you're doing, whether it be one sample or a branded kit, right? Showcase the solutions of what you have. Maybe it's a hat and a t-shirt. Maybe it's you're targeting those construction companies. Hey, here's a high visibility vest. If you're not telling people or showing what you could do, people don't know about it, right? And that's the opportunity to do this 360 marketing strategy where you're showing it on social media, because where do you go to vet somebody these days, right? When you go to look for a new business, you're probably going to Google search them. And if they don't have a great website or a huge presence, Instagram is going to be the second thing that pops up. Oh, let me go stalk these people on Facebook or Instagram. And then you start showing that you have these vests, you have moisture wicking shirts for those hot days, you have the polos for the foremen, or the inspectors, the job quoters, whatever it might be, whatever niche that you have, right? As long as you're showing the solutions, they're going to see them there. And maybe in that kit, that box that you drop off, which direct to film transfers will apply to a cardboard box too. So it can even be a branded box that you set down on their desk. Hey, I'm in the area, I worked with so-and-so, or I've been an expert in working for the construction trades for a while. And we have these solutions. I'd be more than happy to quote your next job. Simple as that, right? Connecting with people. So let's see. This is a great question here. Kind of unrelated, right? Coming in. Question. What's the best way to press a custom neck tag with only a clamshell press, 15 by 15? Turn the shirt inside out. Easiest way. Turn the shirt inside out, and then you'll press that area right on the inside tag location right there. And then turn the shirt right side out. No need to do anything else. Easy step. So happy to help just with that, right? So let's see. This is another one here, Angela, right? Like, we just used the Flex Style holographic patches to do just this. It's great for businesses that operate under 2 names under 1 roof. Can't wait to get them in, right? So the Flex Style holographic, boom, provide a sample. You could get 5 pieces of those, right? Pay the setup fee, get 5 samples, boom. That's it, right? You're providing a sample. You're showcasing them. You're showing something that nobody else has given them a sample of before, right? And you're able to provide this to them. Direct film transfers, Flex Style is a great option. I'm glad you brought that up, Angela, because that's something that I necessarily wasn't going to mention, right? We talked about gang sheets and screen printed transfers and being able to put different things on there, but especially with direct film transfers, it's so easy to print 1 or 2 pieces, right? And just be able to provide those to your customers. So whether it's just 1 or it's multiple. Now, granted, this could get very expensive and time consuming, but if you're waiting for work, if you're just waiting around, it's not going to come, right? Being active and proactive about going out and getting more work is one way to definitely get more work. And samples 100% of the time are going to help you sell, right? Now, not every single one's going to convert, but handing somebody a sample to let them touch and feel and wear your quality. And I've seen this happen. I was out, talking with JC Pro, Justin Leader out in Salt Lake City, Utah, as part of our heat press transformation. That was one thing that really helped him out in the beginning, was providing samples that people had never gotten before. And it'd be like, one guy drop off 1 hat, the owner starts wearing the hat, and all the employees go, "Hey man, where'd you get that hat? That's cool." Okay, maybe I should order them for everybody. I know who gave me the hat. I'm going to go back and order more from them, right? So definitely that big opportunities for you, right? Now, when we talk about outbound sales, right? I already kind of talked about that, like cold outreach, right? Whether it be reaching out on Instagram or using something like Hunter.io to go find new customers, right? And be able to find the correct contact information. LinkedIn is a great place where you could connect with real business owners. I love, I've never been a huge social media person, right? I like to be helpful and accessible. So you could always reach out to me on social media. I'm always happy to help. Everybody here at Stalls is always happy to help you, but I'm starting to become more and more of a LinkedIn person. And that just, I don't know, that just sounds weird, right? But it's real people. It's like what the social networks were before it was all news and memes and ads. And LinkedIn is still like, it's people to people connection, right? And I think that's what I've really found beneficial about it, whether it be, professional or industry based, which is a great place that I like to stay up to date with my peers in the industry, my friends that I meet at all these conferences and shows, right? Where we're all fairly active on LinkedIn, being able to reach out to each other, see mutual connect. Oh, so-and-so, right? Be able to connect after events. It's just a great platform for that networking. So as a business owner, it's imperative that if you do not have a LinkedIn, get one right now, because I guarantee your peers, the other business owners in your area, especially if you go to like any local chamber of commerce events, a great way to start building your network right there. And then if you're anything like me, I'm great with faces. I'm absolutely awful with names, right? So the next time I see somebody, I want to be able to remember their name, and seeing their face on LinkedIn, because I friended them up right there and we made a connection right there. Oh, you're on LinkedIn? Let me find you, right? A great way to build that connection. That's a little bit, or at least it feels a little bit more personal, a little bit more concrete than like, hey, could we be Facebook friends, right? Because not everybody's on Facebook anymore either, right? Almost everybody has a LinkedIn, and it's not just for job searches anymore. It definitely is a bona fide social network that could be an incredible tool that could be used for you, right? So, yeah, and Angela, great one here. Like, I love that it's diverse too. When we talk about flex style, Angela, you're saving me on flex style here today. But this is what I love about the apparel decorating community, right? Love that it's diverse. The stickers could go on some tumblers, and then heat applied versions for the hats. It's such a great product to demo. And I will add on to that, Angela, 100%, that especially when we talk about flex style or the dimensional emblems and patches, that it's something that a lot of just regular decorators, right, or regular business owners, not in the industry, have never really seen or felt before. So it is super unique. That liquid embroidery, especially when you get some metallic effects in it, or you get the holographic effects in it, right? Like you mentioned, where it is this, wow, I didn't know this was possible. I've never seen anything like this before. Yes, 100%. It's available and I could do it for you. And the pressure sensitive, 100%, when we talk about like hard hats or helmets like that. And a lot of times, like the flex style, like metallic, is like, oh, that's like what the NFL logo is on the jersey, right? So very, very important. And see, when I say connecting with friends, hey, Skip, what's going on? I haven't seen Skip in a hot minute. Hope you're doing well, Skip. Love the videos. If you're a member of the Heat Press for Profit community over on Facebook, Skip provides some absolutely incredible just techniques with doing dimensional patches. And when we talk about samples, Skip's method of using soft foam, soft flock, I have one actually right here, right? It's out of frame. I'm going to grab it here in a second. But using an HTV, a CAD cut material, then applying Ultra Color Max to it, pretty much gives you the ability to give some dimensional emblems and patches as a sample, being able to create it yourself for literally almost nothing on cost. Skip is an incredible resource, but if you are not a member of the Heat Press for Profit community, you're missing out on a lot of it. I got to grab it here. Bear with me for just 1 second. Boom, we got it right there. That's the soft foam, right? And this was an example that I showed. So it's the soft foam UCM on top on just a trucker cap. Now, especially this, whoa, I just hit my microphone. But just this, this trucker cap, right? This is a Flex Fit 110. I think this is the Port Authority CP937, right? This thing dye migrates like a boss, right? But that soft foam layer that's right there gives a little bit of a dimension, makes it a little bit higher end, and blocks the dye migration here, right? So awesome things. But Skip gave me the confidence to try this. We have a video over on our YouTube page as well. But be sure you are a member of our Heat Press for Profit community, because, like I said, no gatekeeping, right? Skip's there to help you with these awesome tips and techniques to be able to absolutely crush it, right? So definitely one thing to keep in mind. But again, right, I just want to call out, right, there are, like, you have certain niches, right, that you could target. This is some remote controlled racing, right? So a hobby that I've been involved with for just a little bit, right? And buddies down in Memphis, I think 901. If somebody could just check where 901 is. I think it's the Memphis area, right? So it's just some buddies that I met. Hey, you do t-shirts, right? Can you do hats too? Yes, I can, right? To be able to provide some options, provide some samples very easily, and be able to land those sales. You just have to provide a solution, and nobody's ever even then going to custom ink to price check you. No, you're the expert, and you are their expert. You are their source for information in there. So awesome to see some friends tune in here in today, and love what Skip's doing there in Pennsylvania. And even see, Vince knows, right? Skip's videos have been very helpful. So absolutely, yeah. And you could do that from the soft foam layering. I was actually quite shocked of how easy of a process it is, especially if you already have a vinyl cutter and you have those materials to be able to cut to provide some dimension. And then Skip's done some stuff where he's like layered layers and layers of soft foam on top of each other. So for like this incredible, unique effect, where even sometimes has like colored edges. It looks like a business card with a painted edge, but it's on the front of a hat. And yeah, Skip does a lot for his local community, and gets a lot. Once you start the ball rolling, the word of mouth is going to travel even farther and farther. But I want to reel it back because we're running out of time here. I want to talk about the rest of the outbound systems, right? And one thing that you should do as a business owner, if you are serious about scaling your business, is using a CRM, right? Customer resource management in there. And you want to be able to track all of the outreach and the conversations that you have, right? Because when you're starting to send all these DMs everywhere, or you're sending cold emails out everywhere, it's very, very easy to lose track of it, right? And a lot of these services like Salesforce or Constant Contact, Monday, HubSpot, Pipeline, Zendesk, right? They all have email already integrated in them. And they'll prompt you per day. Hey, it's been 3 days since you reached out to this customer. They're ready for this next step in the buyer journey. Hey, send them another email. Or, hey, now it's time to make the phone call, right? So you could get all of this lead information in there and be able to be nurturing them and at least have this like presentable to-do list that you could come in every morning and go, all right, I'm going to make my 5 phone calls for my cold outreach and get it done. Now, say you're busy. It's just you and you need to be producing orders for your customers, right? This is where the power of virtual assistants come in, right? Where you could pay somebody not a lot of money for part-time work to do some of this outreach for you. Now, this is a huge benefit because a lot of these virtual assistants are overseas, right? Whether you're talking like South Africa, whether you're talking even Central America, right? Or overseas. But in many cases, you could use them to call on business hours of your time zone. So here in Ohio, I only want to reach out to businesses between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. when they're working, right? I don't want to hit somebody up at dinner. They're going to immediately have a bad taste of like, this Dave guy's just trying to contact me when I'm having fit. No, he should contact me during work hours, right? Or the email should come in before it gets buried by all the overnight emails and I'm 30 deep in their inbox the next morning, right? I want to reach out to them during the week. You could either automate that through some of these tools that I mentioned, or have a VA do all of this outreach for you, right? So you're paying a service, maybe $20 a week, to be able to reach out and essentially act as an assistant on your behalf. When we talk about emails, it makes it really easy. But there are services to ensure that like there's no heavily accented. You can't, it just falls apart when it's like, you're talking to somebody in your local community and the English is not so great, right? So there are services that you could utilize to be able to do that. There are AI virtual assistants, like I was talking about earlier, that you could leverage to say, hey, this is the information that I want to know, or that reach out to confirm an appointment when somebody sets up, hey, I'm looking for this. Hey, just wanted to gather a little bit more information. What are you thinking? And yeah, cool. We'll have the call set up for 11 a.m. tomorrow. Is that okay, right? And there's plenty of services cropping up now that utilize AI even in that sales outreach. So it automates a lot of those email sends. But you could even type up templates, right? So you're not writing an email every single time you're reaching out to somebody. You're essentially just following your own script that hey, okay, this worked, this didn't work, and you're able to use those in there. So definitely those systems for sure work. That is why all of those softwares, I'm sure you've seen the ads for them out there being a business owner. If you're picked up in the algorithm as a business owner, I'm sure you've seen those, Salesforce or Constant Contact commercials or ads all throughout there, just to be able to make sure that you could utilize those services and know the benefit that they provide to you as a business owner. Usually, if you land a couple sales, the monthly cost is paid for on that, right? So, but again, you have to be able to meet the needs of your customers. If you're approaching a market that has seen erosion in those bulk orders, having the ability to offer online stores is a huge benefit for that, right? And that's a talking point then in those sales outreach. Hey, maybe that school doesn't buy the big, huge $3,000 order anymore. That nonprofit, well, their profits are squeezed just like everybody else's in this current economic time. And hey, I have a solution that you could still get custom printed merch for your employees, right? Or as a fundraiser, but you don't have to put any money up front. you're still making the same money, if not more, because now in individual pieces, you have a higher profit margin per piece than when you're doing the huge bulk order, but you're providing a solution to the customer that they don't need that huge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 investment up front. Pay as you go, or have your employees or your fundraisees or, your customers essentially pay as they go. So you don't have to do that huge bulk order. It eliminates that risk. But opening that up in a conversation, in a phone call, or dropping by and dropping off those samples is a great way to introduce it. Otherwise, people don't know, right? They don't know that you offer those solutions. So being able to offer those solutions, huge, 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 right? So whether it be the sample drops or the door knocking or the cold emails, if you don't want to do it yourself, have a virtual assistant do it. Or if the timing's right, hire a salesperson. Now, a lot of salespeople you could hire essentially based on commission. So you get paid when you land a sale, right? And one of the ways to like tier that is, I'll pay you 100% commissions if you hit a sales goal of, let's just make it easy, $100,000 this year, right? So if you could close $100,000 worth of sales, I'll pay you 100% of commission. If you're lower than that, you only make 90% of the commissionable rate. And that's going to incentivize those sales teams to go above and beyond. And if you go above it, now you're in the bonus territory and we're going to pay you more, right? Or whatever it might be. Even as part-time salespeople, the college kids, right? They're great talking to people. They have spare time and they love to make that extra cash. And if you could incentivize it to just like, hey, if you could sell to the organizations that you're a part of on a college campus or your friends, the intramural leagues, whatever it might be, you have a very, very powerful sales team right there that you could incentivize with just cash. Hey, sell some custom apparel for me. I'll handle all of the production, right? Especially with the online stores, makes it really easy. You don't even need to go out and get everybody with like hey, what size are you? You want the black one or you want the gray one, right? No Google Forms or spreadsheets or order forms or anything like that. Direct them right to that online store. And especially when it's powered by Fulfill Engine, super easy to just whoop right into production or be able to outsource it anyway, right? So one thing I just want to wrap us up with here today, and if any of you listening out there have your own sales strategies that you've seen work, drop it in the comments right here. We'll highlight your comment right here up on screen, and we'll be sure to talk about it for everybody else tuning in for the replay of the podcast. If you don't want me to blast out your business name or your name, just 100%. Just, I'll keep your secrets on the down low, right? But I do want to share it with other decorators just to be able to help out, right? So the big thing is customer retention when we talk about building a business. Everything we've talked about from the inbound to the outbound sales here today require some investment of time, right? So that's one thing like you absolutely need to be conscious of. And time is money in any business, right? It's so much easier and so much more cost effective to keep your current customers happy, in which case they will go and tell other people about you and your services, right? So that marketing, without having to spend anything, they're a much more trustworthy source. You're always going to buy from, if your friend says, hey, I had a great experience with this guy, this is the way to do it. And that's actually the way that I grew my business back in the day, is that I just started printing t-shirts from my own band. But I would show up, we'd play gigs. Other bands would go, hey, we're in the market for some t-shirts. Where'd you guys get those? Oh, I printed them. Cool. What's your minimum quantity? We don't really have a lot of money to buy a whole bunch. As low as you want, right? I identified my own needs, right? I knew why I was a broke college kid and couldn't afford 48 t-shirts, that I didn't even know if we were going to sell 48 t-shirts. I wanted like 6 or 12. I just wanted something to have at the merch booth, right? So couldn't find anybody to do it, started doing it myself, but provided those same solutions to solve the same problems that I had because I knew other people were in the same exact boat. So I was able to leverage that. And then I started doing more things, stickers, right? But on top of just providing them, oh yeah, I could do your t-shirts. Oh, you got the gig in a week? I could get them to you by then, right? So now I'm even meeting the needs for turn times and stuff. But hey, have you guys thought about getting stickers? Well, we thought about them, but they're kind of expensive. We had to buy 100 of them. And I go, hey, well, I actually use them as a huge investment. You see how when we were on stage that I said, hey, everybody come back to the merch booth and grab a free sticker before you leave. It got people to the merch booth and we started selling more apparel because of it. So what if I could get you 25 stickers, get you 25, 50 stickers. We'll get them on your merch booth. And that's a great way to drive traffic. And then they start using it and see success. So when the next band that they play with goes, hey, you guys got t-shirts. Where'd you get those from? You got to talk to my guy, Dave. He did so much more than just print t-shirts for us, right? We got stickers, and now we use those as freebies to drive traffic to the booth. We start this ball rolling where there's bands now still, like I said, from South Carolina to Cleveland that still reach out to me to say, hey, do you do online stores? We want to set up an online merch store, right? Hey, do you do t-shirts? We want to do some merch for our band, right? And it started to balloon as these bands started to actually sell more merch. It grew from that 12 minimum quantity to 24, 48, 144 pieces, 200 pieces that they were ordering at a time, all because of being able to solve that solution for them up front. Hey, you guys have that sticker on your drum head that looks awesome. Where'd you guys get that? Oh, I did it. It's all solutions that you're providing for your customers. One great example that I heard from the Apparel Decorator Summit, right, was a customer or a decorator whose customers were essentially breweries, right? Breweries, distilleries, a lot of like food and beverage, hospitality was like their niche that they absolutely owned. But one of the biggest things that they found as the success driver for their business is that they would actually go into the breweries and say, hey, yeah, the merch that you just have hanging up behind the bar isn't selling, right? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? Well, because it's hanging out in a dark corner behind the bar. How about we build you a little merch display with some plywood and some know-how and some lighting, and started to just stack some t-shirts up on a shelf, one little hanger with a little iron pipe that they bought from Home Depot, matched the vibe of the brewery. They built a little merch booth. And guess what? The brewery started selling way more merch with clearly labeled pricing, right? And so just being able to help provide that outlet for your customers to do more and sell more, you're far beyond just apparel decorator, right? That brewery now is never going to custom ink to be like, we need t-shirts. We're going to go to the guy who helped us out sell more merch in general, right? I've talked to customers, especially using Fulfill Engine, who are like, we provide the solution of building out this web store for our customers, but we'll also take the mock-ups that we've made for the store and go put them on flyers in social media ads. So like that organization, that nonprofit can immediately turn around, post it on social media and be like, hey, we have brand new tees. Here's the link. And just providing something simple like that, especially if you're well-versed in graphic design or have a Canva subscription or something like that, it costs you an extra 30 seconds to 2 minutes to do that. But it could be the make or break of your customer finding success or you finding success, right? A great way to be able to do that, right? So all of those simple tips could help you sell more, right? Ask yourself with every single customer, what can I do that's going to make it easier for my customer to sell more merch? And execute on that, right? Maybe that's a question that you could ask them on that discovery call when they call you, when you call them after they fill out that lead form, or you say, hey, could we connect on LinkedIn, right? What can I do to help you be more successful? And odds are you're going to get an answer on that. I see a whole bunch coming in here. Let's hear. This is great. Angela says you could even connect with colleges for apprentices and interns who could help marketing and things like that. By us, they offer paid and unpaid internships. Boom, right there. You could go to the business school. Those kids are hungry, right? And they could be those sales interns for you. You just have to train them on the sales of what they could do and just go have them knock doors and drop off those sample packs, hand out flyers, whatever it might be, right? You could have them, if you don't know marketing practices, I love kids for this, right? Because they essentially live for social media sometimes, and they are absolutely phenomenal, and they're going to connect with your audience, especially if you have that younger audience, far better than you can too. That is awesome. Thank you so much for contributing there, Angela. And a lot of the tidbits that you gave for us today. Here, Skip says, customer satisfaction number one, and absolutely, right? If you are not leaving your customers happy and you're just that transactional business, they're going to go find a lower price somewhere else, right? When you provide value to these interactions, when you start solving solutions, it's not solely about the price of the apparel. You're able to charge what's going to make you money, and your customer is seeing the value in working with you far beyond the custom printed apparel they'll be wearing, right? So Tanya says, Right here, Stalls Fulfill Engine. I'm still awaiting approval to join the Facebook group. So there is a Facebook group for Fulfill Engine users as well. How can I facilitate? So our social media team just cross-references that. You do need a Fulfill Engine account. So if you do have a Fulfill Engine account, you should have been greenlit in there. But we'll take a look into that, Tanya. If you don't have a Fulfill Engine account, it is private only for Fulfill Engine users. We don't want no riffraff in there, right? We want we want it to be a community for Fulfill Engine users to share ideas. I saw a great post in there today. I wish I would have remembered the name on it, but essentially embedding the stores in there, just absolutely phenomenal. Skip says, just did some band shirts this week. So I know it's the story as old as time, but like, oh, I learned how to screen print because my band needed t-shirts. But that, as cliche as it sounds, is exactly how I started doing it too. But Skip, following that up with band t-shirts, right? Koozies for bands, bars, breweries. When we're talking about screen print transfers, when we're talking about DTF transfers, right? You could do these extra on the side, and they're freebies to put in there. They're either going to give them away, use them themselves, and odds are when you throw those extra freebies, those samples in the box, boom, you're going to sell more. Skip, I think it was you that I was talking to, or another decorator. I feel like it was you that you were like, yeah, we did t-shirts for this one place. They had no interest in hats. I did a hat, threw a hat in the box when I delivered it. And guess what? They ordered hats like a week later, right? So throwing those extras and those freebies in there that cost you next to nothing to be able to produce could really lead to add-on sales. And who doesn't like freebies, right? That's why I told you to position it as a gift when you're doing that cold outreach. Like, hey, I'm going to be in the area tomorrow morning. Could I drop by at 9 p.m., drop off a gift for you, just 2 minutes of your time? Sure. Yeah. And give them those, respect that 2 minutes, right? More online store stuff from Angela. The great tips here today. Anytime I open a store, I send 3 to 5 pre-made social media posts for them to use quickly. Those extra few minutes of my time pumps up the store so much more, 100%, right? That you might have been the decorator I was talking to about that. Like, we just send them, right? We've stood up the store. We know we're going to make revenue if they make orders. So why not help that customer make more orders? Let's give them the resources that are going to help. Obviously, if they're coming to you for design, or they're coming to you for custom apparel, or they're coming to you for your knowledge or know-how, they might not have a Canva subscription. They might not know Photoshop, and you already have access to those mock-ups already. You could throw on a background, throw their logo on it, custom merch now available, just throw something on there, and bam, it's going to immediately help them sell more. And something that when you go to Custom Ink is never, ever going to do for you. Even those other sites, right? When people like look at online stores, well, like I could go to Teespring or you know, what Printify or whatever it might be, right? Like I could go there and set up my online store, but they're not going to give you the social media assets to help promote the store. No, that's what benefits you as a decorator to go out and compete against any of those services as a decorator yourself, right? Hey, I got the stuff. I'm going to help you sell more. 100%. Yeah. And usually only takes 2 to 5 minutes. 100%. I see a first timer here. Hi. Welcome. You found the right community. Heat Press for Profit Facebook group is going to be your go-to source, especially for building your business, talking to other decorators like you. Go on YouTube. Stalls TV is a fantastic resource. We put out videos every single week, whether it relates to heat printing or whether it relates to just apparel decorating or small business tips, tricks, marketing, sales, just like we're talking about here today, right? So definitely found the right community. We are happy to help. Here at Stalls, we've been empowering apparel decorators, not just providing heat transfer solutions or heat presses. We've been empowering decorators to truly find success for well over 90 years, right? Not a fly-by-night pop-up, hey, we just got a DTF printer and we're selling you DTF prints. No, we've got everything to help you out, from the actual materials themselves to the knowledge and know-how, literally an entire library of ebooks that you could download 100% completely free, that are going to help you and your business thrive, especially as it comes to apparel decorating. So big one here, right? So this is a great question here, Val, right? And if you have any extra questions, we're going to wrap up here in just a minute or two. So be sure to get any questions in now if you want them answered here on the podcast. But of course, we got an entire team that's going to go back through the comments if we missed one in here to be able to make sure that no stone goes unturned and no question remains unanswered. Val says, how did you test the durability of your t-shirts with the prints? Did you actually just wash them for so long that the print starts to lose its quality? Greetings from Germany. Well, hello over in Deutschland. But Yes. Essentially, for me, I want to wash them how I'm going to wash them. So when I have T-shirts that I want a durability test, it goes in the laundry room, goes in the washer and dryer, and as soon as it comes back out, I throw it right back in the dirty pile or right back in the washing machine. Usually, I'll make little ticks on it. With a Sharpie, but sometimes even the Sharpies will start to wash off, especially depending on the color of the shirt. But try to mark how many times it's been washed. When we were doing just here at Transfer Express, we have commercial washers and dryers and independent lab testing facilities that Transfer Express and stalls use to wash test our transfers, independently certified. But when we were testing out our puff inks, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'll bring it home. Because, of course, with any decorated apparel, regardless of where you buy it, you're going to see the same instructions, right? Machine wash cold with like colors. Do not bleach. Do not iron decoration. And either air dry or tumble dry low with the shirt turned inside out, right? Because you don't want to reduce any abrasions, whether it be screen printed, whether it be sublimated, whether it be a direct to garment print, whether it be a direct to film print, whether it be a screen print transfer, whether it be HTV, you're going to see those same washing instructions, kind of boilerplate across the board. But you want to know what? 99% of people completely ignore those, even though legally it has to be printed on the inside tag, which my shirt completely removed. But those care instructions need to be on the inside tag. So, right? Like just I wash them how they always wash, which I think everything we do is a cold wash because the laundry detergent that we use is a cold wash, and then whatever the dryer cycle is set on. Now, I will say personally, being in the t-shirt industry for quite a long time, I actually stopped drying my t-shirts a long time ago. Ever since it was one band tee that I saw that was a limited edition, and I absolutely loved it, and it was one of my favorite bands. First time I ever saw them live, and I dried the shirt, and it didn't fit anymore, and I was very upset about it. And you know, when you pull lint out of the lint filter of your dryer, those are fibers from your clothes that are no longer in your clothes anymore. Dryers are terribly abrasive to any of the garments and the fabrics that you wear. And so t-shirts specifically, if I really like the fit and feel of a t-shirt, I just don't dry it. Regardless if it's pre-shrunk, regardless if it's garment dyed, they all change in the dryer specifically, especially when you're washing with cold water. Of course, the water going in and out is going to obviously change the shirt, and you know, exactly like the shirt I'm wearing now with a little bit of a bacon collar, a little bit. It's definitely shrinking up and wrinkling on it. But the shirts that I absolutely love, never see the dryer. I will hang dry them all the day, regardless if they're decorated or not. But that's just me personally. But when I wash test things, sure bet they go in the washer and dryer just with every other piece of clothing, and keep it going. And I have one that I've done with my daughter. It was a unicorn on the shirt that was a test print when we were first testing out a whole bunch of the different, and they were like, "Hey, Dave, what do you think of this direct to film print?" It was when direct to film was brand new. Like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" You know? And I made a unicorn for my daughter, figuring she would love it and wear it a whole bunch. The shirt barely even fits her anymore. It was like a youth, whatever, 4T, which was huge when she was little. But I've had that thing now for 3-4 years, and still looks great. So, and that has the tick marks on the inside, right on the inside. If you flipped up the inside of her shirt, I have these little tick marks of how many times it's been washed over and over. So yeah, definitely one thing to look at there. Wow, a lot of comments coming in here too. Joker Factory says Meta ads dying. What do you think? I don't think Meta ads, as we talk about Meta, Instagram, and Facebook ads, they are definitely not dying. I do think that they are maybe more saturated than before. If you have a niche, target your niche specifically, smartly. And I do know that, like, in terms of, like, especially when I was running social media ads, this was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, the more hyper targeted, the more effective I found them to be with the messaging that related, like you were speaking directly to that customer, right? But I would hyper target ads and run a whole bunch of creatives and A/B test them against each other. And now Facebook, especially with like their AI algorithms, say like, hey, just keep it broad. We're going to find your audience. And if you're not targeting like regionally and you're targeting more of like bands that you want to target, musicians, artists, right? Or like, people who own business owners who own restaurants, right? If you're just targeting your local area, you could set your geo target and it will find those audiences for you. But they're definitely maybe not as They really push you to their dynamic creative now. And so they've definitely changed a little bit. I don't think they're still very effective, especially when we talk about bang for the buck and the return on investment when you use it smartly. When you just like boost a post, you're essentially just lighting money on fire for views, right? Which, hey, if you want to be known as like, if you make that video where you're like, I am the t-shirt expert, and you boost it to your local community and throw $2,000 at it, guess what? You're going to be a local celebrity where people are going to be like, they're going to recognize you when you go to, the wherever you're walking around in your local town and be like, wait, you're the t-shirt guy. So that's a great strategy if you want to be able to do that. Just blast to everybody. But you definitely need to use that smartly, use the creative and the ads. They're only as good, right? When we talk about what call to action you want from those ads, they're only as good as where they're going. If you want them to land on your website and browse your website or buy something from you, and your website isn't optimized for conversions, it doesn't matter how good your ad is, they aren't going to hit the mark, right? You need to have that entire conversion funnel planned out. Now, if you just want them to DM you or follow you or whatever it might be, definitely you need to reassess the ad spend of what you want to put into that. But I don't think meta ads are dying. Google now, that might be a different question, as AI search definitely reigns supreme. Jay asks, what's your name? I'm Dave with Stalls, Transfer Express, Fulfill Engine, all of the Stalls properties, Haptronics. But I've been in the apparel decorating industry for 15 years. All of this is built to help you out. I share a lot of the experiences and the challenges and the wins and the losses that I've seen over the past 15 years to help you and your business succeed. Angela with another good tip. I didn't even pre-read this, so Angela's been on fire today with the great tips. One more worthy tip and I'm done. We make tons of apparel for our kids' schools and teams. From time to time, I do Facebook stories that show their work and abused apparel and how well the DTFs stand up to them, and my disdain for sorting laundry. 100%. That's awesome. But 100%. When your customers go, well, is it quality? Is it quality? Showing the wash testing in an Instagram reel when you're washing clothes, easiest way. Look, hey, this has been washed. Look, these kids are out in the mud. They're, wherever they are, right? They're rolling around on the concrete in the mud, and then you're washing those and you're getting grass stains out of it and using detergent, and the prints look great on it, right? That's a perfect idea for a reel that you could put to your marketing and post on your, hey, maybe your meta ads, right? 100%. Great one there, Angela. Let's see. A few says, hey, just getting started, but I have a few questions. What's the best color shirts to start with? Black. That's the easiest for me, coming from band merch and merchandising. I'm wearing a faded black t-shirt. Maybe this is navy. I don't know. I have blue lights behind me and a pink light over here and the ring light up here. So I think this is black. I don't know. It could be navy. I think black t-shirts are still the most popular of any t-shirt, especially when we talk about decorated t-shirts, but it depends on your niche, right? If you're doing like boardwalk shirts or summer vacations, black is not what you're going to be doing. You're doing churches or motivational apparel. Probably black t-shirts are not going to be what you're doing. High-end retail brand, maybe some merchandise for a local, a local restaurant or something, or a construction firm, maybe black, right? Bands, 100% black, right? Like the most popular t-shirt of all time. But it depends on your niche. Who are you printing t-shirts for? Use Google as your friend. Search on Etsy if you're going to be like starting your own clothing brand. Look for the t-shirts of like what you would be creating and what t-shirts they're using. I will say black, heather gray, white, navy are probably the top 4 t-shirt colors that I've printed over the past 15 years in scene printed. But it all depends on your specific target audience in there. So this is a great one. What's a good amount of washes t-shirts should last for, and how do you deal with customers who ignore the washing instructions and want a refund? So you could always, that's a two-headed question there, but a great one, Val. The good amount of washes a t-shirt should last for, what we have ours independently tested for is 50 washes, which is considered the industry standard for the lifetime of a garment. After 50 washes, you'll start to see holes washing in it, especially when you're drying it. You'll start to see the seams start wearing out, especially around the armpits, the shoulders, the collars, $50 when you're looking at 50 washes. So the print should last on there. All of the transfers we supply here at Stalls and Transfer Express are independently tested to that industry standard of 50 wash dry cycles. Customers who ignore washing instructions and want a refund, especially like fabric softener, is notorious for removing prints, right? Or at least prematurely aging them. And that goes to every single print method out there, right? When we're even talking about like screen printing or direct to garment or sublimation, fabric softener is going to severely damage those prints on them. And while it might not like crack it right away, or it might not peel off, it's definitely not going to age the way it should. So in those cases, it's a case-by-case basis, right? So if customers are going to complain about everything and it's not worth your time, maybe that's not a customer you want to work with. And you have that right as a business owner to say like, no. But what I say the vast majority of the time is work with your customer for a solution. Like I mentioned earlier, way easier to keep your current customers happy and keep them buying from you than having to continuously go out and get more and more customers. So I would say work with them. Hey, why did this fail? Don't use this. If you are providing washing instructions on just a hang tag or like with your orders, say, hey, I can't guarantee if you go outside these bounds. And of course, the customer's always going to lie. I didn't use fabric softener. These aren't even dried. I washed it once. And like, very obviously the tag on the inside is like frayed and wrinkled and like, nah, this has been washed a whole bunch. You see some pilling on the fabric. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a certain aspect, and usually certain decorators handle it differently. If it's like within 3 months, 6 months of like, let me just replace it for you, right? To keep that customer happy, eating the $8-10 it's going to cost to replace the shirt, just replace it, right? Now, if it's like a whole order and like, oh man, why aren't any of these washing? Maybe look at the application. And I say that coming from a screen printing shop and as a screen printer and just getting a shirt that was screen printed earlier this year that didn't even make it one wash before half the design just literally washed off. I really like that shirt too. And it's on an AS color blank that I absolutely love. But half the design is gone just because somebody pulled it out of the dryer and didn't adhere to the application instructions, right? The plastic solid ink screen printed even needed to cure through the dryer for a certain time. It needed to hit that temperature and it just didn't, right? So that time, temperature, pressure, when we talk about heat applied products only got a bad rap back in the day because people were applying it with an iron. When you apply that with professional tools, with the proper application instructions and accurate time, temperature, and pressure, they are just as durable, if not more durable, than any other print method out there. So definitely one thing to talk about. Fuse asks, can I build my business without pay ads? You absolutely can, 100%. I've seen so many businesses and I've talked to so many decorators that are like, we've never spent a dime on marketing, but you need to be able to provide a solution to your customers that is going to activate them in a way that like, they're like, this is the best, right? And they're going to shout it from the rooftops and be your marketing asset. Those businesses that say like, we've never spent a dime on marketing, I high five them every single time. Best case scenario. And that is a winning strategy right there. Here's a great question, right? From Instagram. How is Goofproof Premium different than regular Goofproof? Goofproof Premium is on a clear carrier. So Goofproof Premium is available only as a single color print. So that's one thing to keep in mind, right? Especially from Stalls. Goofproof Premium from Transfer Express, I believe, could be ordered as a multicolor, but there will be a clear outline on that. So for multicolor prints, I usually recommend going with regular Goofproof. The biggest thing between Goofproof Premium and Goofproof is the clear carrier. So Goofproof Premium on a clear carrier, regular Goofproof comes on a paper carrier. Now there is a slight, very, very slight cost difference involved in that, where the plastic clear carrier is just a little bit more expensive of a material than Goofproof. It is the same inks. Now, one thing with Goofproof Premium, why it's called premium, is that you could actually hold finer detail. So the plastic, there's little, if you look at it under a microscope, there's little dimples in there that hold the ink much better. So you could get much finer detail than you can with just regular Goofproof. But yeah, that's the, especially if you like have trouble with placement, Goofproof Premium is great for that. They do apply very similarly in the application. Yeah, that's the main difference. That is the biggest difference with Goofproof Premium. The price, the clear carrier, a little bit more difference in there. Let's see. Oh, Craig from Hagen Home Goods tuning in on Instagram. Have a great one, Dave. You have a great one too, Craig. That's great. So Let's see. This is can we get a summary of how to get more sales since we are late? Thanks for taking the time. Absolutely. If you're still hanging out, the things that we talked about today, you'll be able to watch the replay of this as soon as we wrap up, and also wherever you listen to podcasts. But essentially, the quick recap we talked about is how to capture more leads online, inbound orders, right? So if somebody comes to your site, having two forms, if somebody knows what they want versus what they don't want. It's going to be really hard for somebody who doesn't know what they want to be able to answer how many do you need, what colorway, what specific blank, what's your artwork look like, what's your sizing dimensions, what's your sizing breakdown of the different t-shirts that you need. All of that information is going to be super overwhelming for somebody who's just like looking for like, we need 25 shirts for the family reunion. I don't know. They're going to bounce. So be able to offer two different forms for somebody who knows what they want versus knows what they don't want. We talked a lot about being able to help customers out with solutions, right? Providing solutions and showcasing what you do. So the power of samples, being able to knock on doors and say, hey, I'm going to be in the area. You got like 2 minutes. I got to drop off a gift. We've worked with a similar customer. Like if you're going to talk to a restaurant, we went and talked to a similar restaurant. They increased their merch sales by 200%, or they, we were able to help them out at uniforms and save them X amount of money, or whatever that little tidbit of you solved a problem for somebody. Drop that little snippet to be able to get your foot in the door there, and drop off samples. Samples help sell. If your customer doesn't see or hear about what you do, you're never going to be able to get the order from them. You need to show them, right? Show, don't tell. Hey, we could do high visibility vests. We could do hats. We could do whatever it might be for your specific niche. Find your target audience and own it with solutions. We did talk about finding local businesses and using tools like hunter.io to be able to find email addresses, or finding people on LinkedIn to be able to reach out, connecting with them, interacting, making all of those touch points. And of course, when we start talking about all those touch points, we have all those email contacts, or all the phone calls, or all the knocking on doors, using a CRM to be able to log all of that and follow up in those 8 touch points or more that most of the time when we talk about B2B sales, you need to make with somebody before before they actually make a purchasing decision. We talked about door knocking, and we talked about using virtual assistants to help with some of that outreach, especially if you're just a sole proprietor, or it's just you in the shop and you have to be working to produce orders to get it out. Hiring somebody. We talked about Angela had recommended college kids and internship programs, right? From local schools, colleges in your area, to be able to get those to be marketing interns that might know, or have them go knock on doors. You could hire VAs halfway on the other side of the world to send emails on your behalf during your specific time zones, business hours, right? So you could start reaching out to people. There are automated tools that you could use like Salesforce or Constant Contact or Monday or HubSpot, Pipeline, Zendesk. There's a ton of them out there to be able to use these tools that even have email and everything integrated into them that could automatically send that. You just write up a script, right? So, and then we talked about building relationships, providing solutions for your customers. Angela, I'm going to use your example again, just one real quick, of like a customer who has an online store. You're right, like a decorator builds an online store for a customer to be able to do it, to be able to sell custom apparel online for a fundraiser, or just an always open online store, or for employees or corporate gifts or whatever it might be. But not just setting the online store up for them, but setting them up for success. What can you do for your customer to help them sell more apparel? So Angela says, hey, we are going to make at least 3 to 4 social media posts for them that advertise some of the apparel on the store, so they could be set up and running and directing traffic to the store themselves. You're empowering your customer to be more successful, right? So building relationships, essentially, I told some stories and examples of how I was in a band, but that was pretty much it. That was it. So has Stalls looked into offering a 2-color print option? So yeah, Vince, there's 2-color print options for a lot of things. Goof Proof over on our Transfer Express brand is available in 2 colors. You could even get Puff Inks available in that 2-color print option over there. Ultra Color Max available in a variety of different colors, right? So you could do 2 colors, 3 colors, 5 colors, 6 colors, doesn't matter. I do love a 2-color Goof Proof print. I have, is that one up there? No, that's not one there. I don't have one super handy for a 2-color Goof Proof print, but they look great. They look like a screen print, super soft hand feel on those. I just used one for a buddy of mine just a couple weeks ago, using that 2-color Goof Proof, just because larger quantities is definitely the way to go. You'll find it so much more cost effective over say an Ultra Color Max, right? So a lot of stuff on there, but we are well over time today. What a talkative bunch. I appreciate everybody who contributed here today. Angela and Craig over at Hagen Home Goods. And there was also some newbies here with us today. First time joiners to the Heat Press for Profit podcast. So we're happy to have you in here. Fuse Products and Skip Davis. Got to check out Skip, all of the videos that he's putting on the Heat Press for Profit Facebook page. And what D4 Graphics out of Pennsylvania. Skip has a great little shop there and definitely meets the needs of his customers, all going in there. We had some local people here in Ohio right with us tuning in. But I want to thank everybody. Absolutely phenomenal. All of the tips, tricks, inspiration, none of this, we do this all for you as decorators to help empower your business. Here at Stalls, we are always dedicated to helping you grow your business. Be sure you are a member of that Facebook page, the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group. We do have also the YouTube channels, Stalls TV and Transfer Express. We're releasing at least one video on those every single week, built to help you thrive, whether it be talking about heat applied products, the new stuff that we have coming down the pipeline, all of the new news of the industry, very similar to how these podcasts are, and everything else and beyond. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in here today. We are happy to help you grow your business, whether it be sales techniques, whether it be talking about DTF transfers, whether it be talking about how to print inside tags, right? All of this stuff to help your business grow, succeed, and thrive. But until next time, I'm Dave. Happy pressing. We'll see you next week right here. Same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern every single Thursday. We're going live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course over on the YouTube pages as well. So wherever you tune in, happy to have you every single week. And then you'll find the replays of the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, from Apple Music to iHeartRadio, Spotify, and beyond. But until next time, happy pressing. Thanks, everybody.